We're always trying to find the absolute best dashcam setups to run in our own vehicles, and after we got to know about a new low-light series, we decided to check it out for ourselves. Today, we have the Pelsee S3 Ultra from the Pelsee Starlet series. We're going to unbox it, check out everything included in the box, and walk you through the details. Let's get into it. The box itself feels very solid and premium. There are some feature highlights printed on the packaging, but we'll talk about those in the relevant sections instead of just reading them off the box. The overall presentation is clean, with a sleek black main box that gives a good first impression. Inside the main box, we get two smaller boxes. Besides that, there are also some user manuals included, as usual. This box had the SD card in it. We've already installed the SD card into the camera, so this compartment is empty now. Then we have the items for a clean installation. First, there's a screwdriver. We also get adhesive pads, and these are extra adhesive clips which are useful for routing the wire neatly. We'll keep these aside for now. Now let's come to these two boxes. This is our main camera box. The camera comes inside a foam cover, which helps protect it from damage during shipping. In the accessory box, we get a thin cloth, which can be used to wipe the dashcam screen and lens. Then we have the mount, where the camera attaches. This is the cigarette lighter port adapter. This is the pry tool, which is useful for wire routing. And this is the rear camera to front camera connection cable. It is quite long, which should help during installation. We also get an OBD cable, which connects to the OBD port and allows parking monitoring access without hardwiring or opening the fuse box. Let's keep these accessories aside and move on to the dashcam. First, we'll look at the rear camera. This unit has already been used a little, so the electrostatic sticker is still attached. Here is the rear camera lens. The lens is rotatable, so you can adjust it to get your preferred view angle. It also says install rear cam like this, which indicates the proper installation orientation. After mounting it, you can rotate the lens to adjust the view as needed. This is also the port where the cable connects to the front camera. Other than that, the rear camera is very lightweight and compact. Now let's move on to the front camera, which is the main unit. The Pelsee branding is clearly printed on the front. When we hold it for the first time, it feels rigid and sturdy. It gives a solid, trustworthy feel, and the shape is quite unique. On the front, we have the camera lens. Next to it is the Pelsee branding, and here is the speaker with a nice design. If we look at the bottom, there's the microphone, and this appears to be either a speaker or a ventilation grill. On this side, there are some instructions printed, and this is also the power button. The power button feels very clicky, which is a nice touch. This is the display. The display size is standard, about 3.44 inches. Here we have the power port and the rear camera port. The power port is a Type-C port. This is where the mount attaches. Once the mount is installed on the vehicle, the camera slides into it from this direction and locks into place. It feels very sturdy when mounted. The camera can also swivel, so you can adjust the angle according to your preference. For example, if it is mounted like this, you can tilt it to get the desired view. We can also see a GPS logo here, which means this works as a GPS module as well. And finally, this is the 128GB memory card. It is a Pelsee branded card. Now we've powered the camera on. To power it on, we're using the OBD cable that comes in the box. Since we're not inside the car right now, we're using a Type A to Type C cable just for this demonstration.
Recording started.
As soon as it gets power, the display lights up and we hear the startup voice prompt. It says, "Recording started," so the camera begins recording automatically as soon as it powers on. We can already see the timer running on the screen, and the red indicator light is blinking to show that recording is in progress. There are several status icons displayed here, including recording status and SD card information. One thing we notice right away is that the menu navigation is touchscreen based. There are no physical navigation buttons for the settings. The touchscreen handles all the menu operations. If we press the power button once, the display turns off. Pressing it again brings the display back on. Now let's go into the settings menu. Here we can see options such as playback, camera, system, resolution, loop recording, auto recording, timestamp, G-sensor, parking guard, time-lapse, FPS, and smart ADAS. For resolution, we can choose between 4K, 2.5K, and 1080p. We usually keep it at 4K because we want the highest recording quality, although it does use more storage space. Next is loop recording. The available options include 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. We usually keep it at 1 minute. Since this is a 128GB card and we're recording in 4K, shorter loop files help manage the storage more efficiently. For audio recording, we keep it on. We also keep the timestamp on because the date and time information can be useful when reviewing footage later. The G-sensor setting has options such as high, medium, low, and off. We usually keep this at medium. We avoid the high setting because it can sometimes lock footage too frequently, for example when driving over potholes or rough roads. Parking guard is another setting we usually keep on medium. A low setting may miss some events, while a high setting could trigger too easily from nearby movement, so medium feels like a practical balance for everyday use. In the time-lapse menu, we can choose off, 12 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, or 72 hours. For this setup, we're selecting 12 hours. There is also an FPS option. Higher FPS settings can use more memory, so the choice depends on the type of footage you want to record. For mirror flip, we're keeping the original orientation without enabling mirror or flip options. The Smart ADAS menu includes features such as collision warnings and other driver assistance alerts. In our setup, we're keeping Smart ADAS off because constant alerts can become distracting. If your vehicle already has a built-in ADAS system, you may prefer to rely on that.
Moving into the system menu, we can see Wi-Fi settings. The camera supports both 5.8 GHz and 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi. For this setup, we're selecting 2.4 GHz. The Wi-Fi info section shows the QR code and connection information. There are also volume settings with off, low, medium, and high options. We prefer the low setting because the high startup sound can feel a bit irritating. For boot sound, we're keeping it on. Touch sound is also being kept on so we can hear feedback when using the touchscreen. The date format menu allows different date format options, and we're using the year, month, date format here. Voice command is being kept on because it can be very useful when our hands are occupied or wet. The available voice commands include commands such as lock the video, turn off display, show front camera, turn off recording, take picture, and open screen. There are also language options, including English and many others, and we're keeping the current language selection. The frequency setting has 50 Hz and 60 Hz options, and we're keeping it at 60 Hz. For the screensaver, we're setting it to 3 minutes. GPS info is being kept on so the camera can display GPS status and speed information when available. The speed adjustment is being kept at 0 with no positive or negative adjustment. There are also options for time zone, format, factory reset, and about. We're not formatting the card or performing a factory reset in this demonstration. Now let's take a look at the playback and camera options. From the main screen, we can open the Playback section to review the footage that has been recorded. Here, we can see recorded video files, locked footage, and image files. The locked footage section shows videos that have been protected from being overwritten. There is also a separate section for rear camera footage. If we open the image section, we can see the photo that was taken earlier during the demonstration. Let's play a front camera clip for a quick look. This confirms that the camera is recording properly and that the footage can be reviewed directly from the device. We can also switch between the front and rear camera view from the touchscreen. The camera menu allows us to take photos as well, so this dashcam is not limited to video recording. It also has a photo capture option. There is a shortcut for Wi-Fi on the main interface, which we'll use for app connection. Once we tap the Wi-Fi option, the camera displays the connection information and password details. Now we're moving to the mobile app connection. We install the app and connect to the camera through the camera's Wi-Fi network. The network name appears as S3 Ultra, and the password shown on the screen is entered into the phone. Once connected, the app shows the camera as connected and ready to access. From here, we can enter the live view and see the camera feed directly on the phone. Inside the app, we can switch between landscape and portrait view. We can also switch between the front camera and rear camera view directly from the app, and the camera display changes accordingly. From the app, we can select recorded footage and choose to download it. The download option allows us to save video files directly to the phone for review or sharing.
The app also provides quick access to settings such as sound recording, video resolution, loop recording duration, time watermark, collision sensitivity, and speed unit. These are essentially the same settings that are available in the camera menu, just presented through the mobile app interface. One thing worth noting is that when the phone is connected to the camera shows a blue indicator light. During recording, the red light continues blinking to show that recording is active. Since the phone is connected, some controls on the camera itself may be limited. After disconnecting the camera returns to its normal standalone operation. Now let's test the voice command feature. The camera can respond to commands such as turn off display, show rear camera, and show front camera. When the command is recognized, the camera provides a voice feedback response. For example, when we say turn off display, the screen turns off and the camera confirms the command. This makes voice control useful for situations where we want to operate the dashcam without touching the screen while driving. Overall, the voice command feature appears to work well in this demonstration, and it adds convenience to the hands-free operation of the camera. So that's our walkthrough of the Pelsee S3 Ultra dashcam. We went through the unboxing, accessories, camera design, power on process, settings, app connection, and voice command features. Overall, the camera offers a good range of features for everyday driving, including 4K recording, GPS support, app connectivity, parking guard options, and voice control. That's it for today's review. Thanks for watching, and let us know in the comments what you think about the Pelsee S3 Ultra. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more automotive accessory reviews and walkthroughs.